What is your relationship with money? One of the main reasons why entrepreneurs struggle to scale their business. Although this is Wednesday Entrepreneurs, of course, thank you very much for being here. We're going to talk about a topic that can be affecting any area of your life. Of course, your finances, personal finances, not just that, right? So it's important that we address this. That's why we're doing this. So welcome back again to another episode of Rapid Subconscious Reprogramming. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys. If you're watching live, hashtag live. If you're watching replay, hashtag replay. Give me 1 second because I just realized that I went live on the wrong group on YouTube. Sorry, give me 1 second. Let's see. I gotta go live in another group. So 1 second, people, everybody. I'm sorry about that. Stop live stream. Here we go. Let's go live again one more time. Sorry. Technical issues sometimes happens, right? So bear with me a second, please. I didn't realize I did this. So if you're watching live, hashtag live. If you're watching replay, hashtag replay. So no, it's not working. Here we go. Never mind. So thank you for being here. If you're watching Rapid Subconscious Reprogramming Community, here Tommy Walker, the Mind Engineer. Let me now just change the screen so you can see me. Here we go. So let's talk about your relationship with money. This is one of the biggest things that I see most people struggling out there, whether it is your entrepreneur, coach, consultant, even in your personal life. A lot of people are struggling with, asking for what they think they might deserve as a wage, asking for a raise and things like that. Talking about money is what most people struggle to do. How many times do you have, conversation with your friends about how much money you make, how much money they make, if you're struggling with money. We normally don't talk about these things because when we were kids, we were taught that, we're not supposed to talk about money. And the truth is, why? Seriously, I'm not saying you got to talk about money, but what's wrong with talking about money, of how much money I make, how much money the other person makes? It's like, seriously, why? What's wrong with that, right? But yes, I understand that there is, if you look into the past, of course, you're going to see different proof that when people spoke about money, maybe with their family, now the family started being more demanding, say like, oh, you should pay now, you should take us out to eat, you should pay this tab, you should invite us, or things like that, because somebody was making more money, now he was supposed to, take care of expenses from others, or whatever crap could be going on in the family, right? But the truth is, there is kind of this, thing around money, and we need to stop that, because this is one of the main reasons why most people are stuck in their life, because we don't talk about money. It doesn't mean that you need to get out there and start talking about how much money you make, don't get me wrong, but talking about money, let's have that uncomfortable talk. First of all, why is it uncomfortable? First, we need to start asking ourselves, why have we attached this uncomfortable feelings towards money? Every one of you guys are going to have your own story, and this is what I want to bring today, because we need to start diving into the mind, into the subconscious mind, to identify what are our stories around money, right? Oh, it makes me uncomfortable to talk about money. Why? Don't talk to anyone about this. Talk to yourself. Have that inner conversation with yourself. But if you have uncomfortable feelings, uncomfortable thoughts around money, you're telling me that there is something there that can be addressed and can be changed. This is what we need to understand. A lot of people that I work with that have financial issues, that would like to make more money, even working with millionaires, what I have seen is that we all have money blockages. Some could be around money is bad, because we had parents that struggle with money and they would look up to other people that had money as, oh, they're the enemy, they're the bad people, right? Others could be because you were raised in a family where there was money and there was a lot of fighting around money. That could be another thing. Maybe in the family that you were raised, there was an uncle, an aunt, or dad or mom that screwed the family with money. So now suddenly there's a negative attachment to money. So we need to start talking about money to see what are the attachments I have. One of the biggest things that I teach is that, imagine that we have a flower, the center of the flower, and on the sides we have the petals. So in the center, we're going to have money. And then attached to money, we're going to have different stories. We could have heard, and this everybody says that, oh, money doesn't grow in trees. Oh, you got to work hard to get money. Money is difficult to get, or whatever story you heard when you were a kid. So if you don't start diving into your mind to identify what are the programs, the scripts, the stories that were created during childhood, because we need to understand that from 0 to 7, our mind is in absorbing mode. It's going to grab things from the environment and it's going to start thinking that that is the right thing. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong, it's going to think that that's the right thing. And I talk about this. If somebody is born in a Catholic family, that person is going to think that Jesus is a savior. If somebody was born in maybe family that believed in Hinduism, they're going to believe that Krishna is a savior. If somebody was born in a Buddhist family, they're going to believe that Buddha is the savior, or whatever they want to call it, right? So suddenly, depending on where you were born, you started believing the things that your environment fed you. And many times the environment fed you, let's say this way, lies or limiting negative and false beliefs. As money doesn't grow in trees. That is true that it doesn't grow in trees, but they're starting to create a story that money is difficult to get. That, people that have money are bad, or people that have money are going to screw you, or people that have money are going to, or if you have money, people are going to try to take advantage of you. So we start creating these negative stories, and then the mind, as it's going to try to protect us, is going to start creating behaviors to protect you from those stories. That's how basic the mind works, people. That is how basic the mind works. The mind is going to try to protect you from the stories that you have in the mind. The problem is that the mind doesn't realize that those stories might not be the higher truth. Yes, might not be the most, how to say it a different way, but it might be a partial truth that, yes, your parents struggle with money, but that doesn't mean that you're going to struggle with money. But maybe you made up in your mind that because your parents struggle with money, you're going to struggle with money. Or maybe because your dad had a lot of money and then he lost it, right? You don't want to make money because you don't want to go through what your dad went through. And I have worked with hundreds of people that had different stories around like this. Like maybe their dad had a lot of money and they lost it. So now they were holding themselves back from having money, or if they had money, they would spend it, right? Because they didn't want to get to that moment where they had a lot of money, investment, things like that, and maybe lose everything. So they would rather lose it fast so they wouldn't go through the pain that their dad went through. I had a guy that his dad had screwed his family when he was a kid. The dad was always screwing the family with money. His dad had a lot of money, but was very, stingy with giving money to his kids. His kid had to, beg for money. So this guy, when he had his own business, he wasn't getting out there in a good way and asking for money without begging. He ended up sounding like begging whenever he talked to his potential clients. So his potential client didn't want to work with somebody that begged for money. He didn't beg like, oh, please give me money, but he sounded like, oh, would you like to work with me? I charge this. And he tried to convince them, right? So he went into some type of begging indirectly, and people wouldn't like that energy and will walk away. He wasn't making any money because he had these negative stories around money. And when I talked to him the first time, he was like, oh yeah, Tommy, I believe that I'm going to be a millionaire. I deserve becoming a millionaire. I know money is good. Money is, abundant. But he was saying all these things, all these crappy things that all these gurus are teaching. And he was trying to convince himself, right, that money was good, that he deserved money, that he deserved to be a millionaire. But deep down in his subconscious mind, he didn't believe that. So he was using positivity to try to override his subconscious mind, but his subconscious mind had proof from his past that money was bad because his dad had behaved really bad around money. So deep down, deep down, he eventually told me when he was kind of this state of connecting with his subconscious mind, he said, Tommy, I just realized I don't want to be like my dad. So making money, having money is getting closer to being like my dad. So I'm self-sabotaging to protect myself from being like my dad. When he was able to see that, when he was able to understand himself, when he was able to love and accept that part of him that was protecting him, and then we were able to bring a higher truth, to bring the reprogramming into the subconscious mind, he was able to start making money. It wasn't overnight, don't get me wrong, but he was able to start coming from a different place to ask for money, to deal with money. So his relationship with money changed when he was able to understand what was going on in his subconscious mind around money and started working on reprogramming the beliefs around money. Most people think that because they do positivity, they do affirmations. Oh, I deserve money. Money is good. Money is abundance. Money, I deserve money. That money is going to start, I don't know, coming and, out of the blue, because some people are teaching that, and it's a load of crap. If it were true, what Bob Proctor teaches for the last 40, 50 years about positivity, abundance, all these things, just visualize money, positivity, half of the population in the world would have money. And the truth, I have come across a lot of people that have practiced all this positivity nonsense, this affirmation nonsense, visualization nonsense of having money, and they were still struggling with money. Why? Because again, you cannot change the subconscious mind with affirmations. You cannot reprogram the subconscious mind with positivity or visualization. The mind has proof, like this guy, going back to this guy again. His dad had screwed the family with money. He didn't want to be like his dad. He didn't want money. That's what his subconscious mind had made up. So he had tried affirmations, he had tried positivity, he had tried visualization, and it didn't work. A lot of people out there are teaching very old school things that don't work for most people. We need to start diving into the mind to understand what is the programming, the scripts that I have in there, what is going on, what are the memories the mind is using to prove the beliefs that it has, right? That money is bad, that money brings problems, that money brings, fighting, separation, pain. The mind is going to say, I don't want that. I don't want to go through that again, so I don't want money. So you see, that is how it works. So if we don't dive in deep into the subconscious mind to find our own stories, to then be able to bring the higher truth, if there's no understanding, there's no reprogramming, people. We need to start understanding that the reprogramming that a lot of people talk about, reprogramming, quote unquote, that a lot of people teach is authoritarian. It's trying to change the mind by force. And most of the people out there don't change their mind by force. They change their mind through love and understanding. And think about this. Imagine if a loved one comes to you, your partner, and starts telling you that you should change this, you should change that this behavior is not acceptable, and starts judging you, rejecting you, or criticizing you for a behavior that you have. How do you tend to react? Do you become defensive? Do you shut down? Do you attack back? How others treat you and how you react is the same way how you treat yourself and how you're going to react. So if you come out of authoritarianism, if you come out of judgment that you need to change the way you think about money, about success, about this, about that, the reprogramming is not going to work. That is old school. We have proof that that is not working anymore. The problem is we have some people out there that are speaking very loud, and they've done it for many years, that they keep saying that it works. Oh, because this person worked, because for this person it worked, for this person it worked. If we look at the bigger picture, we'll see that it worked for a 10%, 20%, 30% people out there, maybe. I don't know the numbers, but I'm pretty sure that they're very small compared to the amount of people that are trying these techniques, and the amount of people that are getting results is 80 to 20, 70 to 30. So if it's not working for you, it's because for most people it's not working, but they're not telling you that because they want to sell their crap. They're not being honest, but saying like, oh, it seems that this is not working. What really changes? Love and understanding. The problem is that most people were not exposed to love when they were being brought up. They didn't know what unconditional love is. So they think that love is not going to help. Oh, love, blah, blah, whatever. Because they didn't experience that. But when you really start experiencing unconditional love, everything can change. It might not change overnight, but everything can start changing when you're able to love and understand. That is how I work on reprogramming on the mind, and that is how effective it has been in the people that I work with. If you really are able to love and understand yourself, you're able to start dissolving behaviors. So if you want to change your relationship with money, if you don't even know what the relationship is that you have, start exploring, start diving into the mind and start seeing what could have happened during your childhood that could have created different stories. What are the stories that these situations could have created? What is the mind trying to protect me from? Because I've seen from people that are struggling with money or people that have a lot of money that want more. I have worked with people that have a couple of $1 million. They're worth a couple of $1 million, 5, 10 more, and they still are not happy and they want more. When I have 20, Tommy, when I have 50, when I become a millionaire, then I'm going to be free. Then I'm going to be happy. It's like, what? Seriously? You think that when you become a billionaire, now you're going to be happy? Sorry to break it through. I don't say it like that, but sorry to break it through. It's not going to happen because I work with people that wanted a couple of million and they made more and they were still not happy. People that made 5, 10 million and they wanted more and they made more and they were not happy. It's never enough for most people. Seriously. So we first need to start understanding what we've learned around money, what we have created, the different narratives around money, and then we need to start working on reprogramming. But first comes the understanding, because if not, there's no change. So work on seeing what is your relationship with money. How was it at home? What did you see? Dad with money, mom with money, mom and dad with money. A combination of that is what you believe around money. And then the mind is going to try to protect you from pain. So if money is bad, it's going to try to protect you from pain. So work on those things to try to understand what is going on to be able to start reprogramming the mind. Thank you very much for watching. I hope it makes sense. Let me know in the chat. Hey, Cora, thank you very much for watching. Share, comment. If you like this, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. I'm going to be sharing more and more to help people. So thank you very much. Have a great day, and I'll see you. Bye, everyone.